The Ghana Airport Company Limited has been ordered by the Right Information Commission to release its contract with Frontiers Health Services to JoyNews. It is to comply with this order within 7 days upon receipt of a letter from the Commission communicating the decision. This decision is the Commission's position on the review filed by the JoyNews team after the company had refused to release the said contract as well as provide other information on how much it had made from the COVID-19 testing at the airport. My colleague Joseph Akable has joined me in the studio with more. First, Akable, what was reasons given by the company for not releasing information to us?
And so in a letter that was written by the director of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, that is Mrs. Pamela Jamson Tete, it's a September 19, 2022 letter to JoyNews. She indicated her inability to release the information by relying on Section 10 of the Right to Information Law. Now, there are a number of provisions under Section 10. She didn't narrow it down to which of the specific provisions. But one, it says that information is exempt from disclosure prior to official publication, where A, the information contains trade secrets or financial, commercial, scientific, or technical information that belongs to the state or public institution, and the information has monetary or a potential monetary value. The disclosure of the information can reasonably be expected to affect the integrity or stability of the financial system or damage the financial interest of the state or public institutions or ability of the state to manage the national economy. C, the disclosure of the information can reasonably be expected to cause a disruption of business or trade in the country. D, the disclosure of the information can unduly benefit or be injurious to a person because it provides prior information about future economic or financial measures to be introduced by the government, among others. So this is what Section 10 provides, that if there's information that falls within this particular provisions, the person who is requesting the information supplier can decide not to give you the information. So we wrote a letter to the airport company, and in reply he said that because of Section 10, I can't give the information to you.
But finally, it's submitted that information to the Commission. What did the Commission find?
The Commission says, so the Commission first wrote to the Ghana Airport Company Limited to bring the said information for us to analyze whether it falls within Section 10.
Okay.
And the Commission in its response says that, quote, the contract referred to has already been executed and has neither monetary or potential monetary value to the state.
Okay.
The Commission further finds that the information requested will in no way damage the financial interest of the state. And that is on that basis that the Commission decided that because of this, the Section 10 not being applicable, the information should be given to JoyNews.
But we asked more than contracts. Are we getting other details as well?
Yes, they are also required to provide a summary of the procurement information on the Ghana Airport Limited Company and the Frontiers Health Services, exclusive of information and evaluative processes. They are also to provide information on the total amount of money generated from the COVID-19 testing at the airport from the inception of this agreement with Frontiers to date. Again, the total amount of money that has been made by Frontiers Health Services from the COVID-19 testing at the airport from the inception of the contract with Frontiers to date. The total amount of money that has been made by the government from the COVID-19 testing at the airport from the inception of the contract to date. And so this is the information that they are supposed to provide, and they are supposed to provide that within 7 days of receiving the letter from the Right to Information Commission.
All right, Akable is with our research there. So we'll get more of this definitely as they've been ordered to release that information to us. And definitely we'll share all of that with you, our viewers. So other stories, be mindful of where you buy your foodstuff. That's the caution from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly Environmental Health Team as they stormed the Agbogbloshie market for the second time in 7 days. There's more in this week's edition of our Clean Ghana series.
Sounds of AMA sanitation officials in a tussle with some recalcitrant traders at Agbogbloshie. A week before that, they were sacked from the shoulders of the road and cautioned not to sell their wares on open drains. That did not end well. It ensued in a fight which the traders seem to have won. They rescued their seized foodstuff from the AMA. Their victory was, however, short-lived. The Assembly Task Force has returned, this time with more personnel who are up to the task. With the help of the police, the defiant traders were arrested and their wares were confiscated. Here is head of the AMA Environmental and Sanitation Team, Florence Kuchi.
It's better to prevent it than to let it happen before we look for remedies to it. So this morning we picked those boys who take action against the owner. Whatever necessary action we need to take against the owner, we will take against the owner. If the yam will be given back, we give it back. If it's not be given back, we will give it to the children's home. So that is what we are doing. Since as at now there is no owner, it means the yam is for the state.
Some traders took to their heels after seeing the task force, so their wares were taken instant, including boxes of tomatoes, pepper, tubers of yam and livestock hide. Many others were asked to clean their surroundings. At the end of the day, 20 people were picked up, but Florence Kuchi says it is only the beginning.
We don't want to put the health of people who are coming into Accra, the city center, to come and shop and go home in danger. We want anybody who comes in here come in here and shop safely and go back safely, so that the economy can grow for us to have a harness country.
For JoyNews, Michael Ashali.
There was pandemonium at the Enyinem police station in the Tiwa East district of the Eastern region after the arrest of 2 illegal miners who were arrested by the task force and national executives of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners. The task force made the arrest as part of activities to inspect the work of the task force to ensure the Ibrahim River is clean after its formation 4 months ago. The 2 illegal miners arrested on site, the excavator operator and the site supervisor, together with others, are believed to have diverted the flow of the Ibrahim River and were busily mining a few meters behind the Enyinem police station. The national executives of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners, together with their task force, moved to the suspects to the police station to hand them over to the security operatives, but were resisted by other illegal miners in the community who had massed up at the Enyinem police station, resulting in pandemonium between Enyinem youths led by Kosho and the task force team. Speaking to the media after visiting some illegal mining sites in the Fantiakwa South District, the national president of the small-scale miners, Philip Akufu, called for the immediate arrest of all illegal miners and perpetrators in the district, especially those working close to the highways.
Because I saw. If you say, Incrofor taka garamsi, ana yen small scale man say entese. Bana de yanka say be hu ade ofren garamsi. And yen tron no munwe ni maso Ghana. Ayo man no mo say no. Inti be make sure say yen small scale miners no. Kwan bi be for say be chincrofor aye say adwuma boni wo Ghana ha bia no. Ye be chi omo. Ye ma obi akwan so o maye ade mpan say o man no. Lines is not good on my kwan say yen kudutu. Baby, I be say o my japade. Inti kon bi e be fa so e be chi sankofo e be chi o magana funya hu say esun garamse na sun small scale mine in Ghana. Na ade o my ye adeboni. We're not going to sit down for this thing to happen in this country. We have to stop it. We have to stop it. We're going to do that. So I've instructed the commander to make sure to arrest these culprits by the close of this week.
The DCE for Fantiakwa South, NSOFUSU, commended the task force and the leadership of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners of their efforts to complement that of government to combat activities of illegal mining.
Now, since my task force for change massive, me ko ejuma mo ye Ibrahim no for that matter me districts had many aso mo ejuma ho pa before God the money. Now the rate at which from and then 3 days, that was Monday, last week Thursday, and I joined for frame some for be a galamsey or baby. I'm about the kind of Jumadin and Mobile and yet meeting for Nibi. And see, it's my essay said, Bibi and Yadi Amafle police bill. And see, we need no crisis arrangement for another operation, but because of your coming into, they are said that I see, sir, there are people I can rely on. Now, you was a fight, Sir Galam say. Into Juma Modisha Monsanity, Omo Yeni Yepa, and now recently so offer Brim Cocofodia, Udu Bunsoa, Brim Bridge in the Sotimus and so many other than as El. It is a need at Elwa, and also a free hop banana. It means that they are doing a good job. And they say that your mom all the needed supporter on Betumi Jumano.
Adam News' Kwesi Azo was with the task force and now joins us live with more. Kwesi, when did this incident happen?
Thank you very much. The National Small-Scale Miners have set up a task force. They inaugurated this task force for about 4 months now. Going around Eastern regions and past the banks of the Bremo River, making sure that the indigents, people who are on the stream, polluting it, doing illegal mining, galamsey, arresting them and making sure the river come back to its color. They have been there doing all these things. So yesterday, they went on their usual routine, checking some of the activities or some of the illegal miners. So we went to OCM, where we saw that there's a lot of illegal miners mining 5 meters away from Accra Kumasi Highway. So from there, we also went to Enyinem. They hear excavator working over there. So immediately the task force, including the small scale miners, their chairman, and the association organizers, they went there to arrest 2 illegal miners who were operating over there. So upon bringing them to the police station at Enyinem, the indigents, the residents over there, they came in their numbers trying to get the illegal miners from the task force. That brought the chaos yesterday.
Has this chaos been resolved, and how exactly, if it has?
Yes, it was resolved yesterday. The police took over the issue. They took, the police took over yesterday, and they sent these 2 illegal miners into their cells, and calm was restored yesterday.
So far, how many people can you count that have been arrested?
So far, yesterday, they did arrested only two of them. And as I'm talking to you right now, we are on our way. We will visit Apatia and other places to also check and see if on their way or if they get anybody, any illegal, galamsey, they will just arrest the person. And
what has the police been saying?
Yesterday, after we spoke with the police, they say, they are also going to process these perpetrators to court today. So we are yet to find out whether they were, given bail yesterday or they are still at the police custody.
All right, that's Adam News' Kwesi Azo talking to us about the arrest in Enyinem and the chaos that ensued. Now to other stories. If you have used the motorway recently, you would notice the number of illegal U-turns that have been created. Usually, these commuters drive against the traffic to join the busy highway. Our latest checks show that close to 10 of such U-turns have been sprung up along the highway, including one close to the Accra-bound toll booth, where drivers pay money to use the pathway. Michael Ashale has more in our latest episode of our series on the motorway dubbed the Deadly Highway.
On August 30, 2022, a manned diesel truck from Tema crashed into one of the toll booths while heading towards Accra.
Small car be white, now men outer laneway. I said, Kawaya Fano, Jaivon, was a Uramani. Uramusuno was at your brake. Or tapu brake, give me the brake lights on a mess of metapo. It's so to anything.
Musa notes that the rate of accidents around the toll booth has increased since it was shut down.
You know, this toll booth here, so far since its closure, there have been more than 100 accidents, of which at least close to 50 individuals have already died here.
At the Accra-bound toll area, it is business as usual. The long trucks park dangerously close to the road. Some are busy inspecting their vehicles, whereas many others take a nap while waiting for the night. The booths have been left to wear. Wires hang down dangerously. Some key installations have either been removed or beguiled. With no lights, the booth is dark at night. The stalls now serve as shelter for many who seek it.
I sleep inside the two booths.
Which of them?
The second room. Yeah.
For how long now?
For about 2 months now.
At the Tema-bound toll area, we met James Edu Nuyama. It appears James is not alone. We found many more people taking shelter in and around the booth. As an express motorway, the number of U-turns were restricted. But over the years, many illegal U-turns have sprung up. It is a common feature along the entire stretch of the motorway. Motorcycle riders and vehicles alike. At the Tema-bound toll booth, we found one of such illegal passages. A man guards the pathway, waiting for customers. The drivers will only be allowed when they have given something. They wait patiently for an opening, then drive against traffic onto the road, putting the lives of other commuters at risk. Not one, not two, but many people use that route. In February 2022, the government announced novel plans to refurbish the abandoned booths.
We have come out with a lot of suggestions. We even want to refurbish all those toll booth structures to provide proper and decent washrooms, for instance, for the use by motorists.
Later, Roads Minister Mwakwata changed his mind.
Among others, I said the ministry has plans and government has plans. We are thinking of a lot of ways to put the toll booths.
Until then, some motorists think the booths should be removed.
You see, so if the issue is about them quitting it, then it's better they have to demolish all these things so that the cars will get free chances to move. That is my point of view. They should get free chances to move. But sometimes they get there and they get confused. They'll miss their lane and they'll just go and crash up and hit one of the toll booths. That's the cause of the broken ones over there. So I think the government have to do something about it.
Okay, now, so far, if you have closed even the toll booth, why not at least putting some sort of signals around the toll for people or motorists to know that these toll booths are closed, especially those who are new on this route. You understand? It isn't there. Even closing it, fine. If you close it in order to hand Ghanaians of some kind of levy, fine.
The motorway and its booths continue to put many motorists in harm's way. Many have died and countless others have survived a near-death experience. An urgent call for authorities to do something about it. Until then, the motorway continues to be a deadly highway. For JoyNews, Michael Ashale.
Let's take a break on JoyNews Desk this morning. We'll be back with more. Welcome back to Joy News Desk, and it's day 4 of the protest by the pensioners, bondholders who have been picketing at the Finance Ministry asking for a total exemption from the debt exchange program. My colleague James Aveji is there and has been monitoring for Joy News. Let's cross over to the Finance Ministry. James Aveji. As you can see on your screens, these are pensioners who are individual bondholders as well, who say that they will not stop picketing at the ministry until they are totally exempted from the debt exchange program. The Finance Ministry has actually explained that they need this to run the economy. Well, my colleague James Aveji is back. He will tell us more from the pensioners. Hello, Aveji.
Hi, sir.
What can you report from the Finance Ministry this morning? What are the pensioners saying this morning?
All right, Aisha, so this morning they have gathered here once again, and this morning they have introduced a banner, a red banner with the inscription of their demand over the time, exempt pensioners from the DDEP, as you may have been seeing in your shot. Now, today, what we are going to do is they have a lot of things to say, and so we'll be giving them that opportunity to say exactly what they would want to say. But just to chronicle the event, they have started this picketing from Monday at the premises of the Ministry of Finance. They had an audience with the Finance Minister. On Tuesday, they were giving audience in the ministry's building with some officials. Yesterday, there was no audience to them from any government official. We know as the Speaker of Parliament has directed the Minister of Finance to come and appear before them and update them on what has been going on. We have heard yesterday the minority leader, Kesala Tuforsin, also emphasizing why they, the minority, think that people like this, which are the elderly, they need not be included in the domestic exchange bond. And so that's how far we have come in the past 3 to 4 days. And so what we are going to do this morning is to give them the opportunity to have a conversation amongst themselves without any input from us. And so I'll hand over the microphone to one of them who would walk into them to see what they have different to tell us this morning.
Thank you. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in our heart, we do believe we shall overcome someday. Just a quick one.
Total exemption. Total exemption.
Total exemption.
Total exemption. Total exemption.
Total exemption. Total exemption.
Total exemption.
You can add on, please.
Total exemption.
Total exemption. I'm 81 year old.
81 year old.
Yeah, exemption. Yeah, I need money for my dialysis.
Okay.
How can you sit on my money?
Total exemption.
Total exemption.
Total exemption.
Total exemption.
We plead for total exemption.
Total exemption. But I want to add a few things. Some of us still have children in schools. How do you expect us to pay for these fees? You have given letters to other schools for them to exempt them or whatever. Please, total exemption.
Those out of school are still at home.
And we are still feeding them. Yes, we have children who are out of school and we are still feeding them.
We deserve total exemption. We have earned it.
We have paid our dues and we want total exemption.
Total exemption.
Okay. Exempt pensioners. Exempt us. Total exemption.
Total exemption for pensioners.
Total exemption, non-negotiable.
Absolute total exemption for pensioners.
Total exemption, only solution.
Total exemption, that's all.
Only in free, yen journey, DDP, only in free.
Total exemption for pensioners. We have earned it.
Total exemption.
Total exemption.
Total exemption.
Thank you.
All right, so Aisha, that is what they have been telling us, that they need total exemption, and so that is the message this morning they are sending to the Ministry of Finance as well as governments, that all they are demanding is total exemption. And so to the government, to the Minister of Finance, that is the collective voice of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum this morning.
Well, James Aveji is our man. He's reporting from the Finance Ministry. Definitely we'll be monitoring the activities. You may have heard that government has extended the days for bondholders to sign on to the deal to Friday. So we're still monitoring to see how things goes. And of course, JoyNews is where to stay for all the details. Now, over the last few weeks, much attention has been turned to students' accommodation on university campuses, as many fresh students who had admission to study at the University of Ghana, for instance, were stranded due to difficulty in accessing accommodation. The situation left both parents and students frustrated as they searched for accommodation at hostels, on campus or nearby, to have the fresh students take part in the university's activities. Well, help is here as some young people are beginning to focus on how best the accommodation problems on university campuses can be resolved. One of such is Gloria Novo. She is the CEO of Izimodation, a tech platform which seeks to create sustainable accommodation alternative for students while giving individuals an opportunity to invest in real estate projects. It provides a platform with which students can quickly search, find and book hostels. The initiative also, among others, seeks to impact over 220 million students annually in providing accommodation and also provide jobs to over 10,000 people. CEO of Izimodation says the initiative will help address SDG goals 1, 3, 4, 8, 9 and 11. She joins us live for a conversation on this. First, Gloria, what's the motivation? Why accommodation for university students?
Okay, so thank you very much. I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Thank you. So the motivation actually started from a personal story when I got admission to the University of Ghana in 2019 to read linguistics, and I had no accommodation. So I struggled in finding a place to stay outside campus, and I wondered why such a problem was there. No one was doing anything about it. So I decided to do some research, and I realized that there were a lot of hostels around, but then no one knew where they were, or you couldn't find them online. So we started with a hostel booking platform where we listed a couple of hostels where students could book. So that was how we started.
Well, this initiative, you say, will provide 220 million accommodations for students and over 10,000 jobs. But how?
Okay, so as we started listing hostels on the platform, we realized that there was not enough space to be listed because each year these hostels were already full. So we did more research and we realized that around university environments, around campuses, we had properties that were empty and no one was living in them. And most of these properties were not suitable for students because one, there was no furniture and or students couldn't afford it. So what we've decided to do now is to create an investment platform where investors and individuals can come together to crowd finance revamping and buying of furniture to turn these properties into hostels. So with that, we'll be able to create new accommodation where students can then book them as hostels.
So, Gloria, have you considered affordability? And I mean, how is your initiative dealing with that?
Okay, so like I said, we've spoken to a lot of students, and we do know that most of them do not have enough cash to pay up their hostel fees. So we are looking at having payment plans which would be affordable for them to pay.
So you say that this initiative will achieve SDG goals 1, 3, 4, 8, 9, and 11. What are these goals and how would Isimodation achieve this?
Okay, so this is because accommodation alone is linked to so many of the SDG goals that we have. So for example, due to lack of accommodation, some students drop out of school, which then leads to SDG goal 4, quality education not being achieved. So we seek that we provide good, affordable, and comfortable accommodation for students. Then this would help promote quality education. On the other hand, because we are not only a tech platform anymore, but would also be involved in buying furniture, refurnishing the room, we'll be hiring a lot of people across industries such as interior designing, furniture, construction. So in that way, that's also promoting SDG 9, which is industry, innovation, infrastructure, and it's also promoting SDG number 8, which is decent work and economic growth.
Thankfully, UNICEF Ghana is supporting this initiative under its Startup Lab program. Nirav Shah is manager in charge of planning, monitoring, and evaluation at UNICEF, and he's also joined us. I'm grateful for your time, Nirav. What's the attraction for UNICEF to support this initiative?
Firstly, thank you so much for inviting me to this show. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great that Gloria started us off because she's put the use case quite clearly for us. Essentially, the UNICEF Startup Lab is an accelerator program for businesses that work to advance the sustainable development goals for children and young people in Ghana. What we want to focus on is innovative, open source, and market-driven products that can be scalable. Why did we want to do this as UNICEF Ghana, right? As you know, like within the context of Ghana's economy and job market, entrepreneurship is critical for young people to self-start and grow their ideas into businesses. Our belief is that through innovative and technology-focused approaches, young entrepreneurs such as Gloria can tackle old problems, especially social ones, with new ideas and new technology. And this is what led us as UNICEF to design and lead the UNICEF Startup Lab with support from KOICA, which is the Korea International Cooperation Agency, and with our implementing partner, which is West Africa.
So, Nirav, how much are you injecting into this project, and what's the expected outcome?
So, if I think of, let's take our cohort 3, right, which has about 20 startups. We inject funds to help take these startups to a 6-month incubation and accelerator program. Apart from that, we have prototype funding of about 25,000 Ghana cedis, approximately, that we will be given to these 20 startups on a need basis. So these two variables help get us to what we really want to invest. I think what we have is a 4 to 5 year time frame with our partners and with the support of KOICA to be able to implement this in a systematic manner.
Well, let's talk about the project, as Gloria puts it, to achieve SDG goals 1, 3, 4, 8, 9, and 11. I want you to tell us more on where we are with these goals and what more we need to achieve them.
That's a great question. When it comes to sustainable development goals, which are due to be, our targets are due to be achieved by 2030, right? Ghana and all the countries globally. I think Ghana has made significant progress towards these SDG goals. I won't have data on the specifics right now, but overall, when you look at the trend, it's positive. COVID-19 did slow down progress towards SDGs for Ghana, and the reality is that in the next 7 years, we still have a lot to achieve. Within the economic context and within the amount of budget that is spent on social sector, I think innovation and entrepreneurship can really help accelerate and support even the government's efforts to advance SDGs in Ghana to achieve the 2030 targets.
So Gloria, this indeed is a good collaboration. I mean, having support from UNICEF. How do you intend to maximize the benefits you're getting, especially from UNICEF?
Okay, so first of all, we have experts here from UNICEF. They are helping us to validate our idea, which is a crowd financing platform to create more accommodation around the world, starting with Accra. And based on the research that we do and the results that we get, we'll be able to shape our product so that it would be a perfect fit for the African market. Aside that, we would also leverage upon UNICEF's exposure to help us to get more support and also help a lot more people.
Well, I'm grateful, ladies and gentlemen. Gloria Novo is CEO of Izimodation, and we have a UNICEF representative who is Narif Shah. Thank you so much for your time. Let's take a break on JoyNews Next. When we return, there is business.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Chiefs and youth groups in the 5 Newmont Ahafo North areas have appealed to government to evoke state laws to ensure the start of the mining project without further delays. Some aggrieved farmers have refused to grant the mining company access to their farms and other properties over compensation-related issues. At a joint press conference, the chiefs and youth groups accused Wakam of brainwashing the farmers but want the government to act to pave way for the project expected to create employment for the youth and help develop communities. Precious Samavo has more.
Tetre, Adroba, Susanso, Efrisipa, and Yamfo in the Tano North district of the Ahafo region are the host communities of the Newmont Ahafo North project. But some aggrieved farmers have refused to grant access to their farms and other properties over compensation-related issues. According to the chiefs and coalition of Ahafo North youths, attempts by the key stakeholders to engage the farmers for an amicable solution proved futile, and they accused Wakam of being behind it. At a joint press conference at Efrisipa, Nana Obonin Nkrare IV, the chief of Efrisipa, noted that the situation left them with no option but to appeal to the government to use state powers for the project to commence for the communities and Ghana's benefit. Some of our people disagree with Newmont, but after engagement, they agreed to allow access to their lands, only for them to back out on the advice of Wakam. If they will not back down for an amicable resolution, then I appeal to the government to use the LI to resolve it to pave way for Newmont to start the project to ease our suffering. We don't want February to end without any sign. We are determined and will not allow a few individuals to frustrate our progress. The coalition warned Wakam to cease all operations in the communities, else they would be faced squarely. Richard Yeboah is the vice chairman.
The coalition, knowing the kind of development coming into our community, will not sit down for Wakam to disrupt a project that will benefit the youth and the community at large for their selfish interest. The coalition would like to send a caution to Wakam to desist from any attempt to disrupt the Newmont Ahafo North project, because the coalition and Ananum are ready to face them squarely and their anti-mining ideology. We again ask our brothers and sisters to come to the table for amicable solutions. However, since we cannot compel them, we ask the government to act collectively to pave way for the progress of the projects, whilst using the process to address the individual's concern.
Meanwhile, some aggrieved farmers have appealed to the government and other stakeholders to also ensure that the agreed compensations are paid in time to avoid the devaluation of their money. Precious Semevo, Joy News, Efrisipa.
Now, Executive Chairman of the World Trade Center, Accra, and investment banker Toby Afedit the 16th, has asked businesses to take advantage of the current economic crisis to expand their operations. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of the 53rd General Assembly of the World Trade Centers Association, he stressed the need for local firms to leverage partnerships with other foreign businesses to support economic growth and improve various productive sectors.
The World Trade Centers Association focuses on business opportunities across the continents of Africa and beyond, bringing together new and expanded opportunities. According to Toby Afede the 14th, businesses in Ghana should not allow the current challenges to stifle their growth.
The whole objective of GA 2023 is to bring in a lot of potential investors in our country and of course across Africa. As I said, Ghana is still a small country, and I think we derive more mileage making this program an African program. As a people, we have to be ready for all who are going to come from across the world, including Africa, to meet here in April. So our entrepreneurs must be ready, our bankers must be ready. A lot of people are going to come into this country with interest in a broad array of sectors, from energy to aviation to agriculture to infrastructure. We simply have to be ready to engage with, if possible, specific opportunities or investment ideas for partnership.
He entreated government to develop new strategies to avoid crowding out effects on the private sector.
This kind of backward-looking approach, I call it a self-fulfilling prophecy. It exports the past into the future until we start looking at it properly, okay? And determine interest rates based on expectation, as opposed to based on what happened in the past, bad past. We cannot break out of it. I think there must be a change in approach where we are looking forward in fixing interest rates than looking backwards. Again, the crowding out is an issue of interest rates. The only way to achieve it is to get interest rates lowering. And the only way to lower interest rates is to stop looking back. When you are targeting 8% inflation over the next 1 year, then you look back at year-on-year inflation of 25% to set interest rate going forward. We cannot break out of it. And that's what I say has created a vicious cycle of high interest rates, high inflation, high interest rates, and that crowds all of us out.
This year's 53rd General Assembly of the World Trade Centers Association is under the theme Towards African Economic Integration and Enhanced Global Presence. The event will run from April 23 to 25 this year.
And that's business. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business, including our great ministry denying entering into agreement to import pork from the U.S. More on myjoyonline.com/business. The news continues after this break.